and welcome to Uptown Tonight. This is your host, Mr. Wayne Stallenfacher, Discount Tom Cruise, or whatever else you want to call me. I don't really care, but it is a brisk April evening. I think it's April 19th tonight. And today we have the one, the only, Mike Saunders. That's his WWE intro. We should get like a applause track or something in here for that. That'd be really cool. So we're going to be talking with him all tonight, and we are also playing some Oregon Trail. We already got everything all picked out here. He has definitely picked out a lot of the good stuff, and I think he's fairly set up compared to other ones. We'll discuss that on the way. There's only one person that actually made it through the Oregon Trail the entire way, and that was Mr. Russ Pfaff. All the rest of us have died in kind of embarrassing ways for the most part, and everything else on this game, but we'll get into that in a few moments, because this is the Uptown Tonight Podcast, where we do believe a rising tide does raise all ships, and we are here trying to raise that tide with all the entertainers in the Fargo-Moorhead area and everything else that we can do for everybody. But first we got to talk about me, because I am boring, and we just got to get that over with. So first we got old Zebers. He definitely doesn't look like that anymore, or sound like that, or the couch looks like that. And then we have Mr. Cito with Junior there, doing with our Uptown merch, so you can find our Uptown merch. Oh, let's see, we just got done with the windbreak and everything else. It's going to be a few weeks before we're back in town. But this weekend we're going to be out in Mandan. If anyone's on the Mandan area, want to pick up some Uptown shirts, you can definitely see that. And of the windbreak last week, we saw a few fans out there with the shirts on. That was cool to see. That was really cool to see. And then we got Zebras saying, support our troops. Of course, I'm a little biased since my son's in the military, but you should be supporting your troops out there. And, there we were. We were at the Poorhouse on Saturday, which I had to miss. A very important show that I'm going to ask Mike right away all about, but we'll get into that in a minute. But that's where we were, out at the Poorhouse. Real good time out there. Oh, that's right. The next one was a video, so here was where we were on Thursday and Friday. A little background so some of us figure out where we're at yet. Hanging out with Butter at the windbreak. And they got a new Baby Yoda. Gotta have Baby Yoda, but that's my new guy. So there we go at the windbreak for Ladies' Night and Friday, and then we're out at the Poorhouse. And what was happening on Saturday as well was a benefit concert for one of our good late friends. And what was going on out there, Mike?
Yeah, so we had the benefit concert for Chris Hanson, and we were back in December.
Yes, we were.
Funeral talking about Chris, and so we had this benefit concert, and I think maybe Eddie started the idea. I'm not really sure where it started, but someone started the idea that we should do this show.
It's a great idea. That's what I'm thinking.
It is a good idea. So we get together. We end up putting 6 bands together. So
yeah.
We had the Kicks band, the Crop Dusters, the Fat Dads even got back together and they played, and Guys and Dolls, us. Gina Powers.
Gina Powers, yeah.
So we got all these bands together, and Annika Berg did a great job. You'd think that she was a professional event planner. She says she's not, but this thing went off without a hitch. We had great food. We had all kinds of door prizes, sponsors, you name it. This thing was flawless, and we just showed up and played. Lots of good music. And amazingly, 6 bands. Now take the Kicks bands out of there because they kind of play a little bit different music, but
a little bit.
5 cover bands. Well, I guess we got to take Gina out there because she's playing original music and she's doing great. She's killing it. So we got 4 cover bands, 4 hours of music, no duplication of the set list.
Wow, you had to plan that beforehand.
It actually wasn't, but it worked
really?
out. Well, it works out because Al Berg plays in the Crop Dusters, and he was playing with us, so he knew what the set list was. And
okay.
Bill Dablo was singing, and he was with the Fat Dad, so he knew what the set list was, so he could maybe kind of be like, hey, no, we're doing that over here. The wild card was Guys and Dolls, but it worked out. Man.
Oh, very good, very good. So I know we were playing, we were opening up for Hairball, and that was one of the things that we had to bring our list in, and their sound guy Hat, I'm sure some people know Hat out there, he was going through the list to make sure he says half the time he has to axe off half of this the stuff that people want to play before that, just so they don't duplicate. But No, that's really awesome. And these are all bands Chris was a part of and or at least had some influence with or in. And
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
really wish I could have been a part of it and been there. But, duty calls, and I was out of town. So
It was great. And one really cool thing, so Ed Schwinn's son, Simon, he's 14, decided he wanted to learn how to play the bass, I guess. So
there we go.
He's been playing the bass. He actually has one of Chris's bass
Good.
in his head. And apparently he wanted to learn some tunes, and came. So he came out and played all the small things with us, so he got up there and he rocked it, man. Like
Nice.
he's ready to go on the road. I think he might drop out of school and, start gigging professionally.
That is so excellent to hear. I just love that. Love that. Just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. But Ed, oh my gosh, how do I got Ed in the mind now, Mike? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So, Mike, let's find out a little bit more about you. Where'd you come from, and who is Mike? I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Who is this guy in my basement?
So I came from Minot. I grew up in Minot.
Oh, out at Minot. Oh, yes.
That's right. That's right. And, I suppose that I had an average, normal childhood. And at some point, Joe Almy, if you've ever been up to the International Music Camp, you might know Joe Almy.
Oh, the Almy Center. Yes.
And so Joe comes to the schools to try to get kids interested in music. And he's got this trombone, and he does, if you ever heard the race car thing,
oh, yeah.
With the slide. He did that, and I was like, I'm in. This is what I'm going to play. And
easy sell.
Yeah, easy sell. And so I started playing music. I played piano a little bit before that, but then started playing trombone and fell in love with it. At some point, I decided to go to school for music.
He's a sucker every day.
Yeah. And so I'm in school, and I'm going to be in the President's Own Marine Band, because that's what my teacher was in, and it was going to be like, this is what I'm going to do. And then one day I was like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't think I want to be a professional musician. This doesn't seem like it's a good career choice. And then I became a hacker. So.
Well, there you go. But I got to come back to the piano stuff, because this always intrigues me. I'm guessing it was a mother influence, just because it usually is everybody else, or did you ask to actually take some lessons?
Well, I love my parents, but I do not get my musical ability from them. They're great people. They have a lot of good qualities, but music is not one of them. They just aren't musicians. So I don't know if that was something that I was encouraged to do. If I was kind of like, you're going to play piano for 2 years, whether you like it or not, which is not a bad strategy. I mean, like, music is a good foundation for lots of things. So.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm so glad that I took piano lessons when I did. My mother was just, 3rd grade, you're in.
I mean,
that's what we did.
I kind of feel like that's what happened, but I mean, that was a long time ago. Wade, that was a long time ago.
Oh, it's what things are. And then the trombone drew you to it. But, we still got to get on the trail here. So let's get on the trail here.
That's right.
Turn you down. And then we'll stop every time when we have stuff. But we are in good health. We are heading to the Kansas River. Speaking today. It's getting kind of tough. I've been teaching all day. So over at Oak Grove, great kids, great place. We're a lot of standardge. They're doing a lot of standards out there, which I love. I don't know if anyone else knows about that nerdy stuff out there, but yeah, he's kind of new to the scene, at least composer-wise, but his stuff is just, it's always rocking. It's really, I would really put it to halftime show based. It's pretty, it's got a lot of cool stuff in there. Lots of China cymbals and tams up my alley. But I digress. Oh no, we got to cross the Kansas River. What are we going to do? We're not going to look around. So here's where it gets exciting. Let's cross the river at this point. 627 feet across, 4.7 feet deep in the middle. What are we going to do? You're going to attempt to ford it? You're going to caulk the wagon and float it? You can take a ferry? Or are you going to wait to see if conditions improve?
Oh boy.
Here comes the gamble.
Well, it's April 7th, so it's spring snow melt coming. So I think if I wait for conditions to improve, this could go south.
Which brings us why they haven't gated our community yet, but they cut off the road down there.
I saw that. I did see that. So I'm not taking the back way around.
No.
I think we should cock the wagon.
Let's do it. We're going. What's going to happen?
Everyone talks about, playing the Oregon Trail and all that. And
is he going to make it?
I don't remember.
Mike, you're going to make it. Ooh, no trouble at all. Oh, my gosh. Last time I went through there, I lost all my clothing. Next time somebody came by and stole half my clothing. I couldn't figure that out. I didn't even realize that they had thieves in this. And then we got to a point where literally we had a broken axle tongue or something like that. Here, thief again. Steals one oxen. How's he get away with the oxen?
All the things.
Exactly. And I had to sit there for about a month trying to barter with people with, we didn't have anything besides 10 pounds of food or something like that. Oh, you find an abandoned wagon. Oh, look at this. Nice. 2 sets of clothing. Ooh, that's kind of morbid. And 21 bullets. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to Mike.
All right.
All right, so what school did you go to then?
Like high school or college?
College.
College. I went to Minot State.
Okay. Oh, so you just stayed in town.
I did.
Gotcha.
I did. I looked at a few different schools, and I had a good scholarship, and the teacher that I wanted to study with was there, so that's where I stayed.
Well, I'm sure that's good and all that, but how'd you end up on the East Coast then?
Yeah, so...
The East Coast of North Dakota.
Yeah, so I was in this relationship, and then I wasn't in this relationship, and I quit my job to go move to be with this girl, but then she's like, don't come, and I no longer had a job. Yeah. So I no longer had a job. I needed a job, and I had a helpful friend that was like, hey, there's this place hiring down here, and so I came down and, got this job, started working here, and then ran into Chris Hanson. That's how I got in the band, is being in town. Cause,
what job is this that you would run into Chris Hanson?
Well, I didn't run into Chris with the job. I ran into Chris just hanging out one night down at Fort Knox downtown. But I was like, hey, man, that's Chris Hanson. How are you doing? He's like, how are you doing? You still playing trombone? I was like, yeah, not really. No, I'm not in any bands. I don't know anyone here. And he's like, you want to be in a band? I was like, yes. Yes, I do. Chris
the recruiter. I was actually hanging out with DeFiore. I always forget his first name.
John?
Yeah, John DeFiore. I know his kid, Mike. We went to school together. And he was teaching some of the woodwinds out of Oak Grove while I was there, and we were talking about that, and I just forgot exactly the point that I was going with, but it was something along the lines of, what was I going with all this thing?
I don't know.
I just wanted to name drop, I guess.
In to be a band.
Oh, yeah, the band thing. Oh, man, but I still don't know what point it was. Forget it. This is why live stuff is so much fun. So I'll come back with it in just a minute, but we were talking about something. It was actually fairly interesting. Yeah, look, that guy's got a lot of stories, and I got to get him on the podcast. So I got his number today, so hopefully we can get him on here.
That's the first step.
Yep, exactly.
I didn't give you mine, but you still tracked me down. So I was looking at my calendar. I was like, I wonder if Wade's going to get a hold of me.
I'll find you.
Boom. Here comes the request.
Exactly. And Mr. Mike Saunders on, yes. So then he recruits you in, and
yeah, he recruited me in, and I joined the band. I think right about that time I decided to try to play softball, and I was a little more gravity enhanced than I am now, and some bad joints. And on my first game of softball, I dislocated my kneecap.
Gravity
and and so I dislocated my kneecap, and so like my first show. I got to play crutches, and we're out at the Silver Dollar in Elizabeth.
Oh, fun.
So I got to get up on the stage. I can't really go anywhere during set break. It's a pain to get off there. But I think that was like the first show I played in. I literally thought when we got there, like, this is how I die. Have you been out the Silver Dollar?
No,
So-
I've heard of it.
So the Silver Dollar at like during the daytime is apparently like a country bar. Like we walk in and you got the hats and the boots and the country music's playing, and we're a ska band, and like we roll into this joint with the music playing and people are looking at us, and I was like, there's no chicken wire here. Like, we need something around us because we're gonna die.
We play both types of music.
That's right. That's right. And then at like, I don't know, like after supper time, sometime close to when we start playing, the bar just regurgitates all its patrons. They all leave, and then a whole new crowd comes in, and
Interesting.
and it was this young crowd, and it was lots of fun. But,
Oh, lake crowd then.
yeah, kind of like lake crowd, yeah. And so that was my first experience thinking I'm gonna die. But then, you know, we had a good time. There was a few other times I thought I might die, but
Well,
all
yeah.
good times.
Just trying to get off the stage with the Silver Dollar. So cool. So you're playing trombone then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started playing trombone in the band. You know, it's a ska band, horn band, so
Yes.
4 horns and all that. And so I was playing trombone because Chris was originally playing trombone. But then I don't know what happened. They didn't have a bass player anymore, so Chris became the bass player.
Bass players.
He had been doing that already, and so he needed a trombone player, and I was apparently the guy he could find. So
that's when he found you at Fort Knox. So it's just
that's right.
Just
That's right.
the stars aligned. It just worked out that way.
It did. It did. I was quite happy for that. Like that was fortuitous, you know, because Chris and I grew up in Minot together, playing a lot of music, so all through high school, and then those jazz festivals that he had, I played in those for a number of years. So it was nice to be able to like get back together and like make music with this guy.
That is so cool. That is extremely cool. Some of the people that you meet, and then also you can just look back and see how everything just correlates or how it's just connected together.
Yeah.
It's a, I don't know. It's nostalgia in me. And yeah, you see my house, you know I'm a nostalgia nerd. Oh my God, everything here is at least 20 years old, if not older.
I'm looking at a Sega Genesis down here. No, that's a Sony PlayStation right there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
even older. Well, no, that one's probably right after the Genesis. There's a Genesis upstairs.
Apple II.
Apple. Oh, getting back to that, we have to
Apple
cross
II.
the Big Blue River. Oh, we gotta do that.
Oh, we don't want to look around.
Nah, you
No,
know,
why not?
it's got 8-bit graphics at their finest in
And
1984.
blazing 5 1/4 inch speed.
That's it. Okay, so we're currently 234 feet across, 3 feet deep in the middle. Ooh, are you gonna ford the river, cock the wagon, or wait to see if conditions improve?
I mean, I feel like this is only coming up 3 feet. Like we should just roll it.
Roll it. Let's ford it. Let's do it. Rolling the dice. See,
Of course, now I only have 5 oxen because someone stole one. So.
exactly. Thieves. And
Oh,
we made
we
it
made
again.
Sweet.
Man, this is going very well. Health is still good. You got a lot of food.
Maybe I should change careers.
Start working with covered wagons, heading across the old west. All that.
I could
How
dig
would
it.
going through the Badlands? That'd be kind of fun.
Heck yeah.
All right, cool. So, what job did you pick up then when you came into town? Can you say, or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I worked over at Blue Cross Blue Shield, North Dakota. I was the security architect, and so it was just like managing vulnerabilities, like your computer tells you need to get a patch, right?
Of course.
So making sure that all the computers got patched, and then people would come in and do what I do now, do these tests, test security, find problems, and then we would look at those, make sure they were legitimate, and then figure out how to fix them, and then validate that we fixed them. Fixed them.
Fixed them. Sounds like me.
Did that kind of stuff, and that got me into this. You might giggle, but the job is called penetration testing. So that's why it's easier to say hacker. And so that got me into that job, and that's what I've been doing now full time for quite a while. But it started there.
Very nice.
Playing music and breaking stuff.
There you go. So you do a lot of coding type thing then, or is it?
A little bit sometimes. I am not the world's greatest coder, so
Okay.
like, I can make it work when I have to, but it's not elegant. And much like when I'm playing these sets recently with the band, it's been so long. I make it work.
Yeah, I'm supposed to ask you about a certain.
Yeah, thanks, Deanne. Thanks, Deanne. You're supposed to ask me about that part in Brick House.
That's it, Brick House.
So
For some reason, I kept coming up with something else.
The thing is
The
that
thing is.
I don't.
What is this part?
I don't play the trombone that often when I'm not, at a show, and which is to say, not at all. And I'm not as technically proficient as I was in college. And Ed, this is what happens when you let like sax players write horn charts. Is they're just like lines of 16th notes.
Oh, of course.
And there's a spot where it's like it goes for a bit, this ascending line of 16th notes, and I can make it about 3/4 of the way through, and then I just don't play that part. I just be like, play the first note, and then I play the ending note when we hit the end of it while everyone else is ripping through it. And at one point we're in rehearsal, and I don't remember how it came up, but like they basically wanted to like run through that line because something wasn't right, and I just looked at him. I was like, yeah, I don't play that part.
It just came up. And how long have you been doing that then? Before they finally figured it out?
About 7 years.
There we go. There we go. And then Russ, you got lost. Russ Pfaff, what are you doing?
Oh man, can't take him anywhere.
No kidding. Made us lose a day. Well, so how long were you playing with Hell in a Handbasket then? Were you just there the entire time, or?
No. They started, back in the early 2000s when, Chris got back up out of the military, and then Ed got out of the military, and that was the early 2000s. And first they were in a band called Patents Pending, plus a few other bands, Beat Down and Dr. Hodgepodge, and all that stuff going on. But I don't know who all was in those bands. But Patents Pending was the original form factor for the band.
Oh.
I came to town in 2007, and I think I started playing with them that fall. It's either 2007 or 2008. And played with them until we hung it up at the end of, I think it was the New Year's Eve 2017.
That sounds about right, yeah.
The last one that we did. And we did a few of them. Oh, you got snake bite.
Wayne got a snake bite. Oh.
So we did that. We played a few gigs after we hung it up. We got back together a few times, and so I played in all of those shows. But yeah, I was there for the whole stretch, other than a period of time when I dislocated my shoulder, and a couple of the trombone players took over for me.
There's a story behind this. You don't just dislocate your shoulder.
There is.
What happened?
All right, so.
With all these outdoorsy pictures I see of you, I can about imagine.
And it involves the outdoors. So we're out hiking, my wife and I. We go on vacation every year, and we do a lot of hiking up on the North Shore. And I love wild edibles, as Les Stroud would say. And I'm eating berries. There's berries everywhere. There's also a lot of bear scat everywhere, because there's berries everywhere. And I'm just grabbing handfuls of berries and eating. And my wife is significantly shorter than I am, so I let her walk in front and set the pace. Otherwise, I'd be like 3 miles ahead of her in 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
So she's setting the pace.
I have typhoid. Jeez.
Man, you are a terrible traveling companion.
No kidding.
So we're weaving through the trees, and all of a sudden, Laura just like turns around and walks right past me. Now, she's an arachnophobe, so I'm figuring there's like a big spider, whatever, spider web, or there's a spider on the trail or something.
I would have been right with you.
So I go around the tree and I look, and I'm looking at a black bear that's, 10, 15 yards away from there.
Oh.
It's eating berries. It sees me. We see each other. And both of us kind of like, ah! And the bear runs off into the trees a little bit. But it doesn't sound like he went very far. And it seems like he's just off to the side of the trail, and I want to keep going. I don't want to turn around. So I picked up a stick. Now, this was a stick, not like a big branch.
I'm starting to think that you made a not so good decision.
Yeah, the most exciting part of this story has already happened.
Okay.
So I pick up this stick, and it's not a tree limb. It's not a branch. I'm not doing a caper toss here. Like, this is a little stick. It's like 3 feet long and like this big around, right? Like, it's not a big stick. And I'm banging it off the tree, and I go to throw it in the direction that I last saw the bear. And I figure if he's still in there, I'm going to hear it, and then I will know.
Ooh.
And I go to throw.
Logic.
And I'm not throwing this like as the hardest thing I can do in my life. I just throw it, and there's a snap, crackle, pop. And my wife's like, "What just happened?" I was like, "I was dislocated my shoulder." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, I'm looking at the ball that should be in the socket, and it's here where my bicep is.
Ah, yuck.
And I'm like, yep, pretty sure.
Make me sick, puke.
So then we Googled how to put it back in, and
oh my God,
it's not like Die Hard. You don't like slam it against a tree. That would have been a terrible idea. But we did actually Google like how, because we're a couple miles out of Silver Bay out in the woods.
Check it out, WebMD. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. And like all the things were like, don't.
Just don't do it.
Just don't. So we had to hike out of the woods, go back, and go to the clinic, and they're like, "We can't do anything for you. You need to go to an emergency room." And
what?
Yeah. So they're like,
"You either need dislocate." Well,
so the thing is, like, after it's been out for any period of time, the muscles start to like spasm, and then if you try to get it back in there, you like trap nerves and muscles in the joint capsule, and like really bad things happen.
Yeah.
I was like, "You guys can't give me anything." They're like, no. They might have to do emergency surgery at the hospital, so we can't give you anything, not even Tylenol. So we make the decision. We can either go to Grand Marais or we can go to Duluth. I'm like, no, let's go to the hospital in Duluth. But because I'm cheap, I call up the clinic in Duluth thinking maybe I don't need to go to the emergency room. And the nurse is like, "Well, are you sure it's dislocated?" I had to tell her about being able to see the ball of the bone there. And she's like, "Oh my God, no, do not come here. You need to go to the emergency room." So the most exciting part of that story was I saw a bear. The moral of the story is I threw a stick and dislocated my shoulder.
And it happened. And
fragile.
They got you out of playing for a little while there. So is that all you play, is just trombone?
No, I play guitar.
Okay.
In college, I played all the low brass instruments, but I do play guitar now. Do a little playing, a little singing, nothing in public yet. I want to. Wow. You
haven't hit a jam night or anything?
Inadequate grass and bad water.
Yeah, how do you get both? Well, I suppose if you have bad water, the grass isn't probably going to be any good.
Yeah, so I have not played out. I want to. I just need to get over it. Like, you know what? I can work a crowd with a microphone and get out there and lead the chicken dance and like goad people into coming and doing the chicken dance and do speeches, speak at conferences, all those things. But there's something about just sitting there with your guitar singing in front of people that's like naked, right? Like you're very, very naked and exposed.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't gotten over that. So I just do it on like Facebook and record some videos and put them on start recording videos, put them on my YouTube, right? But I want to. I might actually hit up the open mic night tomorrow night at Dempsey's if my voice is recovered.
You got there, the Alibi has got an open mic night. We haven't even got to the weekend report yet, but yeah, lots of good stuff happening out there. I got 6 slides this time. 6.
6 slides.
It's borderline almost a record, but that's where we're at Fort Hall here. We don't need to look around. All right, well, we got some photos that we should definitely get to.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we're doing photography as well. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes. So I also do some photography here and there, like doing some landscape and wildlife. Don't shoot people much yet, but I want to.
There we go.
But yeah, that's a picture of some wildflowers down in the grasslands, down by Kindred, Southwest Kindred there.
It's just the color palette.
And it looks like, to me, especially that one that doesn't have any petals on it, looks like a little hype man. Like this kind of looks like there's like it's a band, like an album cover, and that one guy's just like, it's doing that. So
MC Dogs and the Diggities, yes.
That's right. That's right. So there was that one. That was just some flowers over in Maplewood State Park last fall.
Oh, it's how you got the colors going on like that, and you can see just the depth behind everything.
That's what I really liked about it, was that depth there.
To me, every time I look at every time I look at a photo, I want it to tell me a story, and that one definitely tells a story, and so does that.
Yeah.
Where in the world?
That is just some bark on a pine tree down in Lindenwood. But I was sitting there.
That's bark?
That's bark, yeah.
What? It looked like inside of a cave or something.
Like just sitting there playing with it, and I liked the texture and the color. I was like, I wonder what I can do with this. I took a bunch of shots and ended up with that. I really like that.
It almost could be one of those like relief maps or something.
That's exactly what my Uncle Mickey said. That's what he thought it was.
Josh has collar on by it. Oh, no! What am I doing? Pushing buttons left and right.
All right.
Okay, silicone bags.
So that could be one of them. Yep. One of my friend's guesses was definitely breast implants. Someone thought it was jellyfish.
Yep.
It's actually ice on some old pilings in the harbor up in Grand Marais when I took a photo workshop in February. It was 25 below that morning when I took that picture, or 20 below.
Oh.
So that's the wave action coming up and just forming ice. But like I looked at it, I was like, man, that looks really abstract and kind of, I like it.
So how big were they?
Oh, I suppose they were about dinner plate size.
Oh, really? Let's see that. So you have no reference of how large they are. So I was thinking really small.
Yeah, no, they're about dinner plate size.
That is cool.
That, to me, some more ice on rocks, but it kind of looks like space ravioli to me.
After you said that, I cannot see it, or cannot not see it now. Russ died! Oh, Mr. Pfaff, what are you doing?
Sorry, Russ. I tried. It's because he used the wrong contact solution.
Maybe. He's got plenty of food. Ain't got adequate grass, though.
Oh, and bad water. Lots of bad water.
The dysentery hasn't come up yet.
And it's warm, so that's not good. Hey, we're coming up to a river, though. Maybe we'll get some good water.
Maybe. Space ravioli.
You got bit by a snake again, dude.
I'm not good with snakes. They don't scare me. The arachnids do, though. And now we're at, I lost my joke with the planet on Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that was up by Lake Ashtabula last fall when, or late last summer when there was all that smoke in the air.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just wandering around, like the sun's going down. I'm trying to find something to shoot. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of backlit. I'm loving the color because the sky looks like it's on fire. And I just kept shooting, trying to get like ducks flying through. And so I got that one duck just silhouetted there on the horizon, and then the colors in the water. And I was like, I really like this. So
it moves the eye around. And then speaking of dysentery, Josh, you got dysentery.
Man, so far I'm good. You guys are all terrible traveling.
Exactly.
But I'm good. Found wild fruit. Might be a bear now.
Don't throw sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Bench.
Yeah, so that was up from the workshop up there in Grand Marais too. That's just right up in the campground by the harbor there. And I like it because it just kind of like, you got this bench looking out in the water. It's cold, kind of drizzly, snowy, and I just imagine looking at that and someone just sitting out there thinking, man, like, when is summer going to be here? Like, seriously, enough of this.
Oh, wow. The first thing I saw when I looked at that is that something you can grind on with your snowboard.
Well,
I went a completely different direction.
We've already discussed how fragile I am, so there's no snowboarding at all.
Oh, man. All right, we're at Snake River. Oh, we got 1,000 feet to cross, 6 feet deep in the middle. What are we doing? We're attempting to ford. We're caulking the wagon, hiring a native to help or see if conditions improve.
I kind of feel like this is pretty deep. Like maybe we should hire the guy to help us out.
Let's do it. Bing. I'm not even going to attempt to say that word. A Shoshone guide says that he can take your
clothing earlier.
Take your wagon across the river in exchange for 2 sets of clothing. Will you accept this offer?
We do. We do accept his office.
I'll help you float your wagon across. All right. Probably should put it on there. You can see the excitement in action. Look at that. Full Apple II.
Some great graphics right there.
8-bit right there. It's moving. You had no trouble. Man, you are just 3 for 3. Now we're going to Fort Boise. Oh, man.
Boise.
Yeah, no. I broke my leg. Come on.
And a broken leg.
No kidding.
I'm not going anywhere with you, man.
That's probably smart. And I'm not throwing any sticks with you either.
That's right. That's right.
Well, cool. We got to get back to your photos.
Lost Josh for 4 days.
Josh, what are you doing? How do you get lost for 4 days?
And there is the obligatory leaf on the ground in the fall picture.
Yes, you do.
You got to have one in your portfolio.
The maple leaf, what do they call it? The burning maple? Is that what they call that?
You know, I'm not that educated on the maples, so I'm going to go with yes.
Okay. I'll just make that up.
Hey, that's me.
And there's a picture of you. It's the black and white, so the obligatory. I'm an artist.
There you go.
Check out how deep I am in black and white.
It's out in the grasslands.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. So that's up by the harbor there in Grand Marais when I took this workshop in February. There's a guy, Brian Hanson, up there. He's a photographer and photography instructor in Grand Marais, and I really like his stuff, and so I had the opportunity to take this workshop. And I think this was Saturday night, and the everyone had gone back. Like, we had been shooting the sunset, then kind of everyone left. It was Brian and me and one other person sitting around. And Brian says, I think we can go back up there and get more shots. Because, that's the thing about photography, right? Like, it was almost black when I took that picture, but you're doing long exposure. That's like 30 seconds long, so it gathers a lot of light.
Wow.
So you get like these things that just are hard to see with the eye, but the color, you could tell the color of the sky was great. So we just sat there like finding compositions and shooting, and that was one of my favorite ones from the weekend. I don't know if you put you can't really see it there, but the island one on the
there we go.
That was like my favorite one, but that was my second favorite one from the trip. Just great time. Yeah, there we go.
The Island of Misfit Toys. Right,
I believe they call this the Tombolo. It's up, I guess it would be east of Grand Marais on the North Shore, but about 15 minutes out of town or so. It's a popular photography spot. We went there for the sunrise, and I learned some things that weekend, and I recognized that the sun was coming out of the clouds, and it was going to be just peeking over that island. And so if I changed from where I was at, I ran over there, got set up, and I had about 2 minutes when the sun was just coming out open and got that nice sun star, which any earlier I wouldn't have gotten it, any later I wouldn't have gotten it. It was just
perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Yeah. That was my favorite shot for the weekend.
Yeah, it's right next to the tree, too. Oh, man.
Good times.
Whew. And there we are. I see Russ in the back.
Yeah. So that was a little bittersweet photo here, because that's actually when we played Chris and Sarah's wedding back Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So that's at the Armory.
That's just me snagging a few random photos out of here.
I think that's Bill singing up. We got Bill singing up there, and the entire band's up there, man.
I would have loved to have seen that last weekend too. And the Boyd.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's down by my mom grew up down by Oaks, North Dakota, and I was stopping down to visit last fall, and there's all these black terns. They were everywhere. I was trying to get a photo of them, and I couldn't get a photo of any of them with the sun to my back so you could actually see them. They just tried to attack me from that position. But that way, I could at least get like a backlit, and I shot hundreds of shots of these birds, just trying to like get one that worked against the sky, and it was a beautiful sunset, and I liked it.
I like that silhouette, yeah. So see all the detail in there. It's just nice. Movement to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that, the symmetry.
again, that's down by Oaks. That's Craft Slough. That's a couple of, I believe those are Western Grebes. There's Western Grebes, and then there's another Clark's Grebe, but these are Western Grebes. And yeah, I got up about a little before 5 in the morning, drove around, settled on this location, and that's before the sun came up. Like, it was just this beautiful kind of pinkish blue sunrise with these grebes. They were just swimming around, and I laid down on the rocks next to the slough and just waited, and they kept getting closer and closer and closer, and there you go.
Well, that works out. Ooh.
Yeah, it's one of the grebes.
Gets a solo.
Yeah.
Solo shot. Nice.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite looking birds. They're just so, those freaky, long, sharp looking bills and those red eyes.
That one doesn't look happy at all.
And I always say that if you've ever grown up on in the plains in the Midwest here, you can hear that picture. You can hear that bird. You know what that sounds like. But yeah, it's just a red-winged blackbird again down by the farm. Just calling, got a mid call, and this one, and like the one of the flowers that we started out with, and one of the grebes actually, the North Dakota Game and Fish Department has a watchable wildlife contest every year, and so I submitted some photos, and they actually selected a couple of them.
Nice.
And this was one of them. Runner up. I didn't win the contest, but I got runner up. I'll take it.
Still, yeah. It's getting accolades for anything like that.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's got a phone or a camera in their pocket now, so.
And doing some macro work. This was down in the grasslands, just a little mushroom, and it's using a photo stacking or a focus stacking technique. So that's actually like 10 photos that are composited in software, so you can get that more of it in detail, because you're photographing these things that are really small, and the way you use them, the aperture is so wide that your depth of field is microscopic. It's like a hair thin, and so you take a bunch of them, put the camera on a tripod, take a bunch of pictures, and then software composites it together so you can get more of it in focus.
I see what's going on there.
Because if you tried to use a setting that would get all of the mushroom in focus at once, then the grass in the background would also be in focus. So this technique allows you to get really shallow, so that only a slice of the mushroom's in focus, but none of the grass behind it ever gets in focus, and gives it that kind of dreamy, ethereal kind of look.
I like it. I like it. Where are we here?
There is that is called the Cathedral Spires. If you've ever been down in Custer State Park in South Dakota, and you drive up the Needles Highway.
Oh, okay.
So those are the Needles, otherwise known as the Cathedral Spires, and you can actually hike down in there. So if you're hiking up to Black Elk Peak, you can just take a short detour off the trail, and you drop down in there. And man, it's beautiful. If you've never been down in there, you got to go check it out. It is a great place to go.
My daughter and I were down by there last summer, but yeah, we didn't do any hiking or nothing. We're just being the old natural tourist.
Hey, that's me.
Is that you? A lot younger?
No, that's last summer.
The hat just makes you look a lot younger.
Apparently.
Okay.
Well, the lack of hair makes me look older. Is what it is. Yeah, that's down. The company I work for, we had a booth at a conference down in Deadwood, South Dakota. So.
Oh, there we go, Deadwood.
And there we are. We're back at the
beginning. So cool. So we're almost out of time here, and we have some little juvenile destruction, and I got to get to the weekly report as it's going on. But we have to ask you this question: is that moving on? Are you more looking to do covers again, or are you more looking to actually start writing on your own, maybe even producing an album? And I'm going to let you think about that for a moment here as we get to the weekly report. So, say it away, miss you, man. All right, we're downtown Acoustic Corner. Right off the bat, we have the Writers Round at Murphy's Pub. All right, probably happening right now as we speak. It's just a few blocks from here. Tomorrow night, we have Rick Adams and J.C. Chumley's on Friday. Mike Morris at Tailgaters and Eric Rattan at the Red Hen Tap Room. On Saturday, hitting the stage will be Michael Pink at the Unwind. Wayne J. MacArthur at the Silver Spike, and Rick Adams again at the Moorhead American Legion. Out there in Uptown on Windbreak, we got Sushi Roll Thursday and Friday, and then Pop Rock's hitting the stage Saturday the 22nd at the Southtown Porterhouse in Grand Forks. October Road is on Friday, and Sushi Roll's out there on Saturday the 22nd. And at the TAC, we got Riot 10, OG Nixon, Ken T, I'm going to say something like that, Carte Blank, and that's it on Saturday the 22nd. So it looks like a bunch of hip-hoppers, I believe. And then Whitney Cummings is at the Fargo Theater on Friday. I had no idea. I would have got tickets for that, but I'm already going to be out of town. So that's not going to happen. So out of town, here we go. We got at the O, the original in Minot. How many times you been to the O?
More than once.
More than once?
Definitely more than once.
And we got Northtown out there on Friday and Saturday. I've only been twice, I think, in my entire life. The Laughing Sun Brewing out in Bismarck Mandan area, our favorite brewing company in the Bismarck Mandan area. We've never been there. Is Eli Lev on Thursday, Sugar Break on Friday, Lost Horses on Saturday, and then Tuesday, nothing's happening. I don't know why that's there. Ojava Records in Grand Forks. We have Afterface, Gradients, our good friends in Gradients, others, Noxious Ghoul, and Chaotic Entity, Imperial, hitting the stage on Saturday the 22nd. And at the Diamond Lounge, Quick 56, another good friends of the podcast, on Friday and Saturday. So there's definitely places to go if you're up in Grand Forks this weekend. And then the Stage Stop in Mandan, that band Uptown is going to be out there on Friday. And so, yeah, wonder if they're any good.
Okay. Country and Western.
Country and Western, maybe some pop, maybe. Now we're going downtown Dempsey's. We got the Righteous Songs happening right now. Open mic night with Gina Powers tomorrow night, and then Pat Leonard's band on Friday, and the Wicked Bees ska is coming back right there on Saturday 22nd. The Aquarium, the Ultimate Tay-Tay Party, which I had to look into, the Taylor Swift something party going on up there on Friday the 21st. In the Troll Lounge, we got Blue Halcyon, I'll take that, on Friday the 21st, and then the Dudes. Great name, by the way. On the 22nd, the Alibi Lounge open mic night tomorrow night on the 20th at Murphy's Pub. Dan Brecky hitting the stage on Saturday. Still downtown on Park Street Tap Room, open mic night with Travis Niros on Monday the 24th. In the Cellar, we have open mic with Mark Clay Belcher happening right now. Some good old stand-ups. If you're looking to tighten up your 2 minutes, there's a place to be. Ali Sultan and Kajij. If I butchered that name, I'm sorry. Kajij Cooper on Friday and Saturday. And then Side Street Jazz Night next Monday, the 24th. At Jasper Hotel, King Sage is in residence there this month, so on Thursday tomorrow, King Sage will be at the Jasper Hotel at 42nd Street Delta. Kathy Brecky and the 42nd Street Jazz Band on Thursday. Dan Brecky on Friday, and the Decades on Saturday the 22nd. Still downtown, Specs Social Disorder on Friday and Saturday. At the VFW, our good friends Luna and Jimbo Jones hitting the stage out there on Friday and Saturday right downtown. The M&J Saloon, Jackson 3 on Friday and Saturday. And then JC Chumley's Tripwire in Moorhead on Saturday 22nd. And that's all we have for that today. All right, so let's get back to Mike. So, it's always that turmoil of, do I do originals or do I go out on the limb and start writing everything? So, what's your path going to be taking?
My path is probably just going to be playing Jason Isbell and Tyler Childers and stuff like that kind of covers. I maybe someday I will have something to say. I'd be more suited to doing some nerdcore rap with my with my job, but maybe I can do some nerdcore country or nerdcore Americana. But,
there we go.
Yeah, I'm probably just doing covers for now. Maybe someday I'll come up with something great to say, but I started. Jason Isbell got me into playing guitar. Really, that's where I started to focus when I got out of the band, and I'm gonna keep going seeing him. Got to see him in Red Rocks in a couple of weeks. And,
very nice.
Listening to that kind of music, and just working on my craft. Hopefully, you will see me out in public playing some.
Gotta hit some of them open mics.
Get on out there. The open mics tomorrow night, and I gotta time out my set list. Duster gave me an amount of timing that he wants to have for a Crop Dusters gig, and
nice.
So I gotta make sure I got enough music for it, and then you'll see me at a Crop Dusters gig somewhere.
That'll be exciting. It's good to hear, Mike. But first, we got to get to a little bit of Boise. Before Boise, would you like to look around? We're at 165 pounds of food. That's why I stopped right here.
I feel like we should look around. I feel like that's what you're wanting me to do.
Mm-hmm. We might need to buy some more food. Yeah.
Do I get some food?
Apparently not. I just sent you on your way.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, well, for so much of that. So
we're going to have to eat you soon.
We might. And that's definitely some destruction that's happening out there. But we need to hit some juvenile destruction. So this will be the last week of the Off the Roof with the recycled stuff. We noticed that my driveway is actually a driveway again, so I can start breaking things once again. Oh, man, this is going to be so much fun. So we'll have some fresh stuff starting next week. This week is the last one. I tried finding my favorite one again. I don't know what I did to it. Tell you the truth, I just cheated and went through everything I could find, and it wasn't there. But this was another one that I thought was pretty nice. So here's this week's Off the Roof. Well, that's C, though. Ed has a broken leg. I got snake bit again.
One trip.
Josh broke his leg. Everyone's having problems. Ed died.
Oh, man. Sorry, Ed.
Listen, Ed. Boom! That thing came apart.
What was it? First thought it was a garden gnome.
That guy. Oh, poor Granny.
Oh, perfect game, too. You're hired.
Oh, and there we go with this week's Off the Roof. So we're trying to finish up this game here. He's actually getting close to the end. Man, we're going to head for the dollies because I don't want to sit there and play with the... They have a nice little game at the end of this, at least the newer version, where you actually have to like dodge rocks and stuff. Oh, we found more abandoned stuff.
You know, for as
Just
many
out scavenging.
axles I bought, but for as many axles and wagon wheels I bought, I sure haven't had to use any.
No kidding.
Should have bought more food.
Oh, I died.
Hey,
No
more
good.
food for me.
Yeah, 3 whole pounds.
We're gonna have to eat an oxen at this point because we're out of food.
Might.
Come on.
Josh died.
Oh man.
Are you by yourself now? You might be. I think you are. And you have measles.
Did Russ die?
Yeah, Russ was first one to go.
I think it's just me then.
Oh, there you with bad water. That's no good. And there we go.
Man, it's so close. So
Here lies Mike. That's okay. Well, Russ, you still hold the record for being able to actually make it through the entire thing. So we give you that. But now we got to go back to Mike. So you got anything left for the good of the order here? Or are you looking for any more job type things for music or photography or anything?
You know,
Time to chill.
I'm open to the music thing, seeing what comes up for, playing. Not looking to get back into playing trombone a whole lot, though. That's a whole different set of work, right? That you can pick up a guitar and then not pick up a guitar, but the trombone, like this stuff, for those of you who aren't familiar, these muscles, they need to be worked out. And, when they don't get worked out, it gets really painful. So, I'm hoping to play, like I said, maybe playing with the Dusters, maybe doing some open mic nights. We'll see what happens. And then, really trying to focus on photography, like just getting better. I started shooting, I shot all the bands this weekend, trying to come up with some good photos there. And I'm going to try to start hitting live music and photographing other bands. And then hopefully, I get some work that bands can use for promo stuff. Like just, I'll come out, see you, I'll tag you in it. You guys can use that if you like it. And then maybe someone hires me to do it. And then I can quit my day job.
Man, I'm trying to live the dream. Yes, going for it. Love it, Mike. And we have at least a lot of your YouTubes and all that other stuff in the description below and all that, so you can find them on the Twitters and the Instagrams and the Facebooks and all that other fun stuff. And you can find us at the Uptown Tonight Podcast and all the ticky-tacks up into the Instagrams and into the Facebooks and everything else. Or else you can find us at Uptown Band Fargo, because we're a band called Uptown in Fargo.com, and that'll give you all the information about the band and the podcast and all that fun stuff and what's going to be happening and coming on up here. And we are definitely out of time, so thank you for being on, Mike. This was awesome. It was a fun conversation. I like this quite a bit, quite a lot of it. But you got to remember, if your drummer's got more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble.
That's very true.
But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.